All right, all right, all right, all right. We wanted to run through the new shark cards and see how they fare, um, I guess, in terms of the new support and what we can do with it. Really quickly, I think these are all correct. These are all just custom cards that people have people have made because DB is slow and they can't seem to get shit together. No, I'm kidding. But still, we want to actually look at the cards and talk about it. I've got the two extra deck cards. So there's 9 cards in total. 3 main deck monsters, 2 extra deck monsters, 2 spells, and 2 traps. All of them are decent in their own right, but I think there are some that are better than others. I have read these already, and I can tell you which ones I like best. Doesn't mean that they're the best, it's just the ones that I like best. We'll start off with Surfacing Big Jaws. So you can only use each effect once per turn. I also have the original text that was revealed in the in a Discord call. You can only use each effect once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a fish shark monster from your deck to your hand. So we can go over the targets for this later, but that's a lot of good ones. During your main phase, if a spell card was activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. Now, that's a really interesting effect. I think it's a very interesting condition that a spell card has to be activated during the main phase. And that doesn't even mean you had to activate it. It's during your main phase if a spell card was activated. So let's say you go second, your opponent activates a Cosmic Cyclone for some reason. You can just special this from your hand for free. So this is an activated effect, so you can, this card's, so you can only use the add effect once per turn, but the special effect is also once per turn, but if you normal it, then you don't have to, you're not locked out of specialing it later. So that's kind of interesting. So if you add this later on through the turn, and let's say you activate something like a White Mirror, you can then just special this for free. So basically, it is both a really insane starter for the deck and also a good extender. And then you can't special anything from the extra deck except Xyz. That's a... Hold on one sec. That's the best lock. Some of the shark cards lock you into waters, some lock you into Xyz, and some lock you into water Xyz. The fact that this just locks you into Xyz is the best because it means you can do other Xyz plays first, and you're not locked out of like something like a Utopic Draco Future Line. You're not locked out of that because you activate this guy's effect. And this guy has the classic Shark effect where it can also be used for a 3 or a 5 water Xyz. So that's pretty good. In my opinion, this is probably the best card we got, and I think most people would agree. Up next, we have Drake Shark. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If it's added to your hand except by drawing it, special it. So it's just got that Poplar type of effect. Problem is it doesn't have anything to benefit off it. So its other effects are, if this card is used for an Xe summon of a water monster that uses 3 or more materials, it can be treated as 2 materials. That's an interesting effect. It lets you get to... certain Xyz monsters that you normally wouldn't be able to get to. And then third effect, a Shark Drake Vice, or a Shark Drake XYZ monster that has this card's material gains this effect. Once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from this card, target a spell trap on the field, attach it to this card's material. So that's actually a pretty nice spell trap removal. If you have spell traps that are not like are protected from destruction, like this is a nice way to remove it. The biggest problem is I just wish this was a quick effect. If this was a quick effect, if it gave it a quick effect, it'd be great. But the fact that it's just an effect, I'm not convinced this is anything more than a one of. And then we have probably the worst monster that was revealed. This is Armored Shark. It's always treated as an Armored Xyz card, which isn't bad. You can add it off of something like a Xyz, I think the Armor Torpedo, I think is the one. That's the 5. So that's good. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. You can send one Water XYZ monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Target a fish monster in your graveyard whose level equals the sent monster's rank, special summon it. That's not a bad effect, but it does kind of... You have to get this out. And there's not a great way to get it out, like, so far. Like, it's not like... if they had somehow combined these two into one monster, it'd be great. But the fact they're separate, pretty bad. Second effect is during your opponent's turn. If this card's in your graveyard, quick effect. Target a Water XYZ monster you control. Equip this card to it as an equip spell, and that gives it 500 attack. This isn't bad, because this gives you a way to trigger full armor Dark Knight Lancer on your opponent's turn, like if you don't get to the trap. Yeah, but... You have to find a way to get it in your graveyard. It's not if this card is in your hand or graveyard. If it was hand or graveyard, it'd be cracked. But so far, I think this is a card that's actually not worth including. Next for the spell, we have Surface Aqua Jet. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Special summon a level 4 or lower Fish Sea Serpent Aqua monster from your hand or graveyard. If you do, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn while you control it, except these monsters. This is actually interesting because it lets you special this, Xyz it off, and then you can do other things. Kind of nice. If your opponent controls an attack position monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target a Fish Sea Serpent Aqua monster you control, gains 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. It's a pretty good card. Honestly, it's weirdly Monster Reborn and, like, cheating a card out of the extract. So you could do something like activate Aqua Jet to summon, like, a Buzzsaw Shark. Doesn't negate its effects, which is nice. And then you can get something like Buzzsaw 1, Surfacing Shark 2. Pretty cool. Next we have Reincarnate Unveil Male. It's, again, always treated as an Xyz armor card, so they're really pushing Sharks and XYZ armor, which I'm not opposed to. You can only activate this card, one card with this card's name once per turn. An Xyz monster with this card gains the effects. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, you can, if it battle, quick effect, return one equip spell equipped to this card to the hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, Xyz summon one water monster. So I think what you're supposed to be able to do is, like, equip this to an Xyz Armor Torpedo. I think it might be Fortress. Attack into it, and then quick effect to tag into Darkray Lancer or Dark Knight Lancer. I don't fully understand the purpose of this card. I don't think it's a bad card, but it's almost certainly a one of. And then the final effect is it kind of has the Draco back. Yeah, Draco back effect, where it's, if this card is sent to the graveyard, activate the equip it from your graveyard to an Xyz monster you control during the end phase. So honestly, not bad. And we've got the traps, Virtue Stream. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Target a Fish, Sea Serpent, or Aqua monster you control, and 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them. It's a archetypal Icarus attack. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target a face-up monster on the field, and you either can, if it's a water monster, it becomes indestructible by card effect the first time, or the next time. And then if it's a water monster, it becomes water. So this kind of synergizes with Stealth Kraken and Stealth Kraken Spawn. You can use... I'll have to check, but let's see. Kraken. Yeah, okay, so Kraken says... if this actually some card is destroyed. Sorry. He's just self-growing spawn for your Yeah, so what you can do here is you can pop Stealth Kragan with Virtue Stream, and then Kragan spawn to summon out, or Kragan to summon out Kragan spawns, and then you can Virtue Stream later to turn one of the monsters into a water so that you can pop it with Kragan spawn. Kind of interesting. And then final main deck card is Xyz Poseidon Splash. Again, once per turn on both effects, if you control an Xyz monster that has an Xyz monster as material, declare an attribute. Destroy all monsters on the field with that attribute that are not equipped with an equip spell. I don't know how I feel about this. It's like a board wipe, but it's not a board wipe. So whatever. You can banish this card from your graveyard, attach one Xyz material from a monster, special summon fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster from your graveyard to either field. This isn't bad. It's a decent extender. I just wish it wasn't on a trap. And then the last cards we have number C32 Shark Drake Leviathan. You can also, so it's 4 level 5 monsters. Really hard to make. But you can also summon it by discarding a spell and using a rank 4 Shark Drake XYZ monster you control. So basically turns any spell into a rank up, which is kind of neat. But yeah, also people are buying this shit out. I'm surprised people don't think it won't be reprinted when it synergizes so heavily with Shark Drakes. Once per turn, you can detach material from this card, target effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and if you do, change its attack event to 0. Good effect. Targeting negations, not good enough though. It is a quick effect, which is good. So if you make this on your first turn and your opponent goes something like normal summon Pydra, you can detach material, target it, negate its effects, it's dead. But yeah, during this card can make a second attack during each battle phase, and this card inflicts piercing battle damage. Yeah, it's basically just a targeted negate that you have to make with a Shark Drake monster. So you already have to play a essentially another Garnet in the extra deck, and you have to have a spell to summon it. So yeah, we've got Levy Urchu Dragon. 2 level 3s, special summon this card. If this card is special summoned by any means, add a Virtue Stream from your deck to your hand. Pretty good. You can only activate one of these effects per turn. Detach material from an XYZ monster you control. Doesn't exclude itself. Add a fish, serpent, or aqua monster from your graveyard to your hand, except itself. Interesting. Don't know how that really works, but essentially it's just a reborn it's an add back for any fish, sea serpent, aqua monster. Target 2 Xyz material or monsters on the field. Detach one material from one of them. Attach it to the other as material. So I guess what this lets you do is kind of combine XYZ monsters, and like you can do. So I think the entire point of this is you can go effect, detach to add back, and then you can go effect, target itself and another XYZs, and then attach it to that monster. So it basically just gives it an extra material. So that is all 9 cards. So I think just starting out, let's take a look at the shark cards. So the shark cards that are monsters and more options type. Fish. And then we're going to go effect monsters. There we go. So there's a decent amount, but there's only a couple that we really need to talk about. So the best one is Abyss Shark. Then we have Crystal Shark, Buzzsaw, Lantern, Right Hand. I think you could argue Dream Shark, but I don't think we really need Dream Shark. You can also talk about Double Fin if you really want, but that's about it. So Abyss Shark, for those of you who don't know, is a pretty strong card. If all monsters you control are water, minimum 1, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if you do, you add any level 3, 4, or 5 fish monster from your deck to your hand except itself. You can't special summon for the rest of the turn except water. Also, double the first battle damage inflicted to your opponent by your number monsters battling another monster. That's an effect that I feel like for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon. Yeah, so this for the rest of this turn applies to the whole effect. So that means even if you do this on your first turn, you don't have to worry about it. But it is a small effect that can come up and be important. Crystal Shark is, if this card is used for the XYZ summon of a number monster, it can be treated as a 3/4/5. You can also do that with this. Most of these sharks have this effect. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, target a water monster on the field, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. And if you do have the monster's attack, you can't special summon it for the extra deck, except Xyz monsters for the rest of the turn. You can only use this effect once per turn. So this is a crazy card. This is a really insane card because if you just attach it as an Xyz material, it never leaves the field, so you can just keep using it over and over again. So essentially, we're definitely going to be playing 3 of this and 1 of this. Up next is Buzzsaw, probably the best level 4. It's debatable that Surfacing Big Jaws might be better, but it's not a shark card. So Buzzsaw Shark says you can target 1 water monster you control, including itself. Special summon from your deck 1 fish monster with the same level as that monster, but a different name. You cannot activate its effects this turn. And you cannot special summon for the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Xyz monsters. You can only use effective Buzzsaw once per turn, and then if it's used for the Xyz of water, it can be a 3 or a 5. So you can summon Big Jaws, but you can't actually do anything with Big Jaws. Lantern Shark, if this card is normal or special, you can activate this effect. Summon level 3, 4, or 5 water monster for your hand in defense position except Lantern Shark. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Xyz monsters. And same 3 or 5. We have Right Hand Shark. If this card is normal or normal summon, you can add a Left Hand Shark from your deck to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. An Xyz summon monster that was summoned using only water monsters gains this effect, can't be destroyed by battle. So this is a really good hit off of Buzzsaw, because what you can do is go like Buzzsaw, summon this, Xyz into a Bahamut Shark detach Right Hand Shark, and then you can just, every single turn, you can bring back Right Hand Shark if you control the monsters. It's basically kind of like a Treeborn Frog. Dream Shark is pretty bad, if I'm not mistaken, but it is a card you can consider. First time it would be destroyed by battle, each turn it is not destroyed. You can only use the effect once per turn. The following effects once per turn. If you control no monsters or all monsters you control are water, special summon this card from your hand. When it inflicts damage, when a card or effect that would inflict damage to your opponent is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do make the effect damage 0, if special summon this way, it loses 1,000 defense, but banish it when it leaves the field. Basically, it's just another free 5 that you can summon, so you can go like Abyss Shark, grab Dream Shark if you already have Crystal Shark in hand. But I think anytime you would do that, you can just grab something like Drake Shark now. So I think we can just say that one's a no-go. Double Fin. When this card is normal summoned, you can target 1 level 3 or 4 water fish monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in defense position, but negate its effects. You cannot special summon monsters during the turn you activate this effect except water. So this one does water lock you. So Abyss Shark is the only one that water locks you of these, air quotes, good cards. So I guess let's go ahead and talk about some little things. So the biggest one is this effect right here that's on a lot of them. This isn't an activated effect. It's like a conditional effect, similar to the... I'm trying to think. Similar to like the illusion monsters effects, I think. So even if like this, so Buzzsaw Shark, the monster you summon can't activate its effects this turn. But that means like if you do Buzzsaw summon Lantern, you can still make a 3 or a 5. That's essentially what it means. Right Hand Shark doesn't have the 3 or 5 text on it. Neither does Double Fin. I think Double Fin is just a cut. I don't think there's any reason you would play that. Drake Shark is, again, just another one of. I think Lantern Shark could also be a one of. Let's say you go Surfacing Big Jaws effect. You get to add like a Lantern Shark, and then you can you special this. You add Lantern Shark special, and then you can special like Abyss Shark from your hand. Oh wait, okay. So Bishark only triggers if you special it. Okay, so that wouldn't be very good. So we can consider cutting Lantern Shark. We'll cut it to the side for right now. So I think we definitely play triple Buzzsaw. I think this is just the best card in the deck. And then we also probably play triple Big Jaws. I think Surfacing Aquajet isn't a bad card. I think you could consider playing multiples. I think Reincarnate Unveil Male is fine. It's not amazing. I think Virtue Stream is also fine, especially if you plan on making Virtue Dragon. I think this card is not worth playing. So, real quick, I'm going to take a look at some old lists. Yeah, so this is an old list that apparently reached top 32 in YCS Sydney. They were playing Lifeless Leaf Fish. This is a good card for if you want to shuffle your fish monsters back in the deck. XYZ Remora is you can detach 2 materials from an Xyz monster you control, special summon 2 fish monsters from your graveyard. Target 2 fish monsters in your graveyard, special summon those targets in defense position. Pretty good. So it specials itself for free by detaching 2 materials, and then you can reborn 2 monsters. Again, Silent Angler is a free special. It's a water summon it's a water monster that's a free special. I realize I haven't had my chat open this entire time. Not that anyone's chatted. So it's a free special if you control water, but you can't special from your hand for the rest of the turn. So that's kind of it's a free card, but it's also like you really do want you don't want to be using this and needing to activate a Bishark later, if that makes sense. Silent Sea Nettle, if you control a water monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can't special waters for the rest of the turn. Or except water monsters, the turn you activate the effect, you can banish this card from graveyard. Target 3 water monsters in your graveyard, special summon them into the deck. Shathana is the only card that you can special for free and is a level 4 water. The only problem is it is a worm. But by specialing this, you can then special a Bishark, and then you can kind of go off. Other than that, they're playing White Mirror. Pretty decent card. Target a level 4 lower fish monster in graveyard. Special summon it, add a monster from your deck with the same original name. So what you do is you target an angler, and then you special it back. You special it back, and then you grab another angler and special the angler. So, decent. I would say this card might not be as good now, considering we have... oh my gosh. Is it really going to do that? Oh my gosh. Fuck off. Okay, fine. Oh, there it is. Still didn't save. Great. Sharks. So, just going through it. I think we play triple, 1. Yeah. We play... Where there's right hand, we play one of those. Oh gosh, this is going to be annoying. We have to go to custom cards. Yeah, so... no, not Big Jaw, Shark. Yeah, alright, we're going to play 3 Surfacing Big Jaws. I guess we can play a single Drake Shark. Again, it's just like a decent card that you can add off of something like an Abyss Shark if you already have everything you need. So from there, I think we play surfacing. It's not surfacing. What is it? What's the card? It's surfacing or surface aqua jet. Surface aqua jet. I think you can just play 3 of this. You might cut this down, but I think you can play 3. Let's go ahead and save the deck now while we're doing that. So then from there, I think Lifeless is a... Oh, we can just switch this to normal cards. I think Lifeless is a good singleton card to get off of something like a Buzzsaw. Interestingly enough, they aren't on... What was the card? Oh, what was the card? It wasn't Lifeless Leaffish. They aren't on Be a Tearful Princess, which I think is correct. I don't think you need to be on it. I also don't think we need to be on White Mirror. We can try without it. I think Shatana is probably... I think Shatana is probably a really good card because it's a water you can get out for free. And that's kind of like decent enough. I mean, we can do I think we can play like Foolish Burial Goods and Ice Barrier. I feel like that is not a bad combo to play. Because this is essentially dumping Toy Vendor. You dump this, you activate this effect, banish it, you dump Crystal, and you add Abyss, 7 level 5 or higher water monster from your deck to your graveyard. Thinking of monster from your graveyard to your hand. Oh. So I think it applies sequentially. And the point is, it just lets you get cards in graveyard if you need them, and it also lets you get cards back when you want them. So I don't think it's a bad thing to play. We're on 41. The Xyz armor cards. So let's talk about those. So the new support is really designed to make these, and luckily pretty much everything can make them. This can make them, and these are waters. This can make them. I think this can make it as well. Yeah, I think the only cards that can't make it are these 6 right here. So honestly, not impossible. We also need full armor Dark Knight Lancer, and then armored XYZs. We want to play 1 apiece of these. A staple of this deck is Bahamut Toad. You can play multiples, but I'm not sure how I feel about that. You can always put him back with Leaffish if you need. Yeah, you can see here we're playing doubles. We're playing double of each of the Kragans, and then Abyss Dweller seems like a no-brainer. Kragan, he's playing doubles. I know some people play 1 and 2. Because if you've never read the Kragans before, so Stealth Kragan is what you're going to be making first. All face-up monsters on the field become water. This is why Goes and Match was so powerful, is because essentially did Zombie World stuff. Zombie Rivalry, this was just the same thing. Once returned during your main phase, quick effect, during the main phase, destroy 1 water monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage equal to half the attack it had on field. If this XYZ summon card is destroyed, you can special summon the Stealth Kragan spawns from your extra deck up to the number of materials this card had. Then you can attach up to 1 water monster from your graveyard to each of these special summon monsters. So it's just a water monster. Yeah, and notably, Toad is if this card is sent to the graveyard at all. So what you can do is some funny things like Kragan effect, summon the spawns, attach Toad, and then when Toad goes to graveyard again, you get another add off of it. So that's pretty tight. And then Stealth Kragan says, once per turn during the main phase, you can destroy one water monster your opponent controls. That's all it does. So this converts it to waters, and this just pops any water. So that's why these are the spawns, and this is the big guy. Anyways, if this card is special summoned by the effect of a numbers XYZ monster, if this card is special summoned by the effect of a number XYZ monster, which this is destroyed, you can special summon other Stealth Kragan monsters from your graveyard up to the number of materials this card had. Then you can attach one Xyz material from one water monster from your graveyard to each of those special summon monsters as material. So now, notably, this says if this Xyz summon card is destroyed. So it's not an infinite loop. So Kragan floats into spawns, which then float into Kragan. That's all it is. So that's why some people consider playing 2, is because what you can do is you can go Kragan into double spawns, and then spawns into the other Kragan, and then later you can go... does this summon from extra deck or just graveyard? Or extra deck, yeah. Extra deck, yeah, so then you can go Kragan into a spawn, then a spawn back into a Kragan, then on your next turn you can go Kragan into another spawn, into another Kragan. So it's just a pretty strong loop that lets you just pop a bunch of cards. Think of it kind of like the gadgets in old school Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's just kind of an inevitability that eventually comes to a head. And then I think for the rest of the extra deck, we can try and mix in the modern tools that we have. Again, we can play things like Full Armor, Crystal Zero Lancer. This card... Yeah, space card would be destroyed by the attachment to the set. Attachment. Multi-summon monster controls other effects negate until the end phase. This is not a bad card, but I don't know if it's good. Ragna Zero is an interesting card. Don't know if it's good. Yeah, so I think we can play... let's pull this up. So we got to go back to custom cards. Shark Drake. Where is it? No. This is why I tried to have everything prepared beforehand, but that's the thanks I get for trying to be prepared. All right, here it is. So go to official cards. So I think you just play Shark Drake, and then you can Xyz onto it with Shark Drake Leviathan. You just have to have a spell in hand. Last cards, I mean, I guess we can just play extra Bahamut Toads. Because everybody knows Toad is insane. And then last card can just be a Zeus. Then in terms of the... Let's save deck real quick. So then in terms of the other cards we can play, let's see, what are they playing? Foolish seems pretty good. Called by is whatever. I don't know if you can search Gameciel. I assume you can. I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, I think we just kind of fill it up with other good cards. So because Big Jaws is just whenever a spell card is activated, I think Upstart is kind of like an auto include, I want to say. And then probably just like Ash, Valor, Imperm, and then Foolish, Called by. Okay, so we're going to save this deck. Exit, Dual Room, Sharks, Solo Mode. Alright, so let's take a look at the one cards here. So, to top of deck, top of deck, top of deck, top of deck, top of deck. Okay. So let's say you start with Upstart. Let's just see what we can do with just surfacing Big Jaws to hand. Obviously, if you can do something like activate an Upstart to begin with, that's pretty good, but let's just see what we can do. So this card is normal special summon, add a fish shark monster. So normal summon this effect. We will add the Abyss Shark to hand. Declare effect, oh my goodness, of Abyss Shark. Special this. Because it was specialed, we can add a fish. Yeah, we can add a fish monster from our deck to our hand, so it just adds it to hand. So here we could go for the Drake Shark if we wanted to do that. Or we can go for the Crystal Shark. So Crystal Shark lets us target this, special it, and then, you know, start doing Xyz summons. So right now we are locked into waters, but that's fine. I think we've got enough to where we're fine with that. Yeah, so I think what we want to do here... Yeah, okay, so what we'll do is we'll add Crystal to hand. We will special Crystal. Oh wait, this is only once per turn. Yeah, you can only use this effect. Okay, so we can special summon Crystal. From here, we can go these two. We can go any of these two into the Xyz armor line, or we can go the Shark Drake line. Technically, if we really want it, but yeah, let's try this. We're gonna overlay these two for the Xyz Armor Torpedo. Declare the effect. Detach. It says draw a card, but we're just gonna add an Upstart to hand, just so it's essentially a blank card. So then you can summon Xyz Armor Torpedo, or Fortress. Effect, detach two materials, yep, so. Effect, detach to add the XYZ, full armored XYZ to hand. Then we special summon this guy, set this, and pass, I think, yeah. So then what we can do on the next turn is we activate full armor, set Xyz. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, so were we not supposed to do this yet? Maybe we weren't, I don't know. You banish this card from your graveyard, target an Xyz monster, control monster. Yeah, okay, so I guess we weren't supposed to do this yet. I haven't played around with this stuff. Let's go ahead and reset the deck real quick. So that's what you can do off of one Big Jaws. So here, activate Foolish Burial Goods, dump the Ice Barrier, special Shathana, free special. So I don't think we can use this right now. This is kind of a dead hand. If you can use that, then there is definitely a line you can do. Okay, here we are. Special summon this. Normal. Effect. Target itself. Special summon. Same level as the monster, but a different name. Okay. Same level, but different name. So we can't activate the effect the turn we summon it. Is there something I'm missing? so we'll go for leaf fish here, I think is the correct choice. Because it has to be a 4, and it can't be itself, so leaf fish is just the safe choice. So overlay these two into... Yeah, okay, so this is kind of interesting. Overlay into Bahamut, player effective Bahamut, detach material, special toad, not overlay. And then I think, yeah, overlay this guy, right? Because this just says using a rank 3 or 4 Xyz monster you control. Yeah, okay, so declare effect, detach, add armored Xyz to hand and full armored Xyz to hand. Activate. Oh no, well, I keep reading these cards and I'm like, what the fuck does this do? Target one face-up monster you control and one Xyz monster in your graveyard. Equip that monster from your graveyard to that monster as an equip spell with these effects. Yeah, okay, so we don't activate this. This comes to hand. So you probably just go... okay, so interesting... Oh, no, that doesn't work. So here we just set this and we have 3 hand traps, or three disruptions and a toad negate, so that's pretty decent. Probably not amazing, but decent. I'm noticing there's a critical lack of, like, extenders in this deck. Okay, so this is interesting. So we activate Upstart, doesn't matter. We can just draw. Sure, yeah. Special summon this. Declare effective this. Add Abyss Shark to hand. And we'll special the Abyss Shark. Abyss Shark adds Buzzsaw. We haven't normaled yet, so we can add this to hand and then normal it. Then we can go effective Buzzsaw targeting Abyss. This can get us Crystal. If you're afraid of Nib, you can, try to play around it as best you can. Okay. It's a different card, so we should be able to go overlay these two for Bahamut. Bahamut detach material, summon Toad. Overlay these two for Torpedo. Torpedo effect. Actually, no, we can do this a different way. We can special summon this. Detach, special. We can actually just summon this on top of this and then do that. View, we'll grab this to hand and this to hand. Then we can activate goods. Goods effect sends barrier to grave. So this is where I do see something like, I don't know, Crystal. I don't know if I want to say Crystal Lancer, but like Nash Knight coming up, if you could do that. But we can just overlay these two. They can be anything. They can. That's the crazy part. They can be even this. Really strong. So then we can banish this. It might not be a great idea to do this because then we lock the Crystal Shark under here, but I think it's fine. We will dump leaf to grave. And this, then you can add one water monster from your graveyard. Do we want to do that? No, I think it's fine to not. Well, we can add Big Jaws for next turn. Yeah. Okay. So then we just set this up. I mean, we didn't even use 3 of the cards in our hand. What? This was a spell card and the Big Jaws? Yeah. And we got the Big Jaws back because we activated Foolish Burial Goods. Foolish Burial Goods doesn't even matter for this end board. Yeah, so top of deck, top of deck, top of deck, and then we'll just add a upstart to hand. I mean, it's not amazing, but it really doesn't seem bad. So that's all for this. I'm more than content with just being like, yeah, this is where I'm gonna leave it off. I'll let people who care more about the deck to play around with this, but I really don't think it's bad. I mean, we have Dark Ray Lancer, we have Toad, we have Kragan, we have a fresh draw, we have Xyz, Armored Xyz, and we have actually we wouldn't have this. This is just follow up from the Foolish Burial, so this should be engraved. But yeah, if we really wanted, we could get a second draw off Leafish, putting back all 3. So yeah, so like this is all right. Well, that's all from me. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it up for the night and get to bed. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you are watching this